Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're through to the police. Could I have the location of your emergency?
Forget the location. Your police are outside my yard right now. I've just had a little shootout with them.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Poncho, back at you again with another video in America. This is a story of Daniel Hannum, who's recently been jailed for 29 years after he threatened to murder police while he was in a gun battle with them. Let's take it back to where this all started. This happened in the town of Yeovil, which is in the district of South Somerset in England. On the evening of January 17th, an armed raid had happened on the Co-op supermarket on Mudford Road. The armed robber, or who we now know as Daniel Hannum, had entered the shop and threatened the assistant with a shotgun before stealing cash and tobacco products. He then ran from the store on foot and got into a dark coloured vehicle which drove off in the direction of the village of Mudford. The following day, the Co-op supermarket was shut and forensic investigations were ongoing at around midday. Police had made public inquiry, like to reassure the community that the crimes involving firearms in Avon and Somerset are extremely rare, and we're doing everything we can to trace this offender. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the incident, but it was clearly a very frightening experience for the shop assistant. We have a number of lines of inquiry which we are pursuing, but we're still keen to hear from anyone who was in the area who saw the incident or anything else suspicious around the time. I appreciate the offender's balaclava makes it difficult to identify them, but do you recognise the coat? Or do you know someone with access to a shotgun who's been acting differently during the past few days? Did you drive through the area and have your dash cam on? If so, we'd like to see the footage. If you have information, no matter how insignificant you might think it might be, please contact us and let us assess it. So, the manhunt was on for the masked robber, or Daniel Hannum, who targeted the shop armed with a shotgun.
Yeah, no, ignore that.
Window movement. Oh, police!
This, please, how about that?
Operator, pass the number.
Banker connecting mobile. An abusive caller, there's been no request.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're through to the police. Could I have the location of your emergency?
Forget the location. Your police are outside my yard right now. I've just had a little shootout with them. You know where I'm at. Come on.
I don't. There's about
Well, how about
15
this?
of us.
In Castle Carey. Listen.
Alright, so you're in Castle Carey. What do you need the police for? How can I help
What do you
you?
need the police for? I've just had a shootout with your police officers. They're surrounding the house right now. This house is going to go down. I've got 2 children and a woman inside this house. How do you want this to go down right now? That's what I want to know.
Where are you in...
How about this? You've got the number to this. When someone's ready to speak to me, ring me the back right now. I haven't withheld this number. When someone outside this house right now is willing to speak to me, tell them to ring back. Otherwise, it's going to be a shootout. I'll lose my life tonight. Big man thing, I'll lose my life. Let's go, innit? I've just shot at your police, so let's see how willing they are to lose people as well. Because I've got unlimited ammo. How about that?
Just done a lot of years. To be honest, if all this hadn't happened in a Co-op robbery, I probably only would have gone on back and done about 18 months, 2 years. So in hindsight, how I've treated the whole thing is silly. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. All shots that got let off in that house were just in the air. Like if you looked at the, I don't know if you've seen the scene. The other ones, once I got out of the house, I was in her bedroom then. And I thought, right, before I decide to do anything stupid to myself, let's use the rest of the shell. So I just fired them out the window, but not literally. And when I say out the window, I mean like I did not open the window. I just fired it through the glass. That was on the other side of the house. And that's fired up into the air again. Bang, out. That didn't start returning fire then, because obviously, well, it was on the other side of the house for a start. But I fired from 2 different rooms. You know that? You aware of that or not?
Go on.
Well, I'm just explaining. The first time when they returned fire, that I assume is when you're talking about attempt murder, that was 1 bedroom. The second time was when I was telling them, oh, I might just take my own life. I only had 2 shells left. Before I convinced myself to do it, I let them off in the house. Just bang, bang, like that. Out in towards the sky, but the window wasn't open. So, like that. So that was it. They didn't return fire then either. I wasn't even in the window. I was sat on the bed like that. And then after that, I just said, I'm going to throw the gun out the window. Done that. Threw my bag out and just went and hammered myself in. You know what I'm saying? So, in terms of, firearm, unlicensed, I'll admit that. Shouldn't have had the gun. The McColl's thing, I admit that. Even, like, I've got in a geezer's car with a firearm last night. And, you know, I can admit that. But there's no attempt murder on police. That was never an intention. Surely attempted murder means I would have intended to murder someone. Maybe I was being reckless.
Namely a shotgun with intent to cause fear of violence. Possession of a firearm, namely a shotgun, in a public place on 4th Street. Possession of a firearm, namely a shotgun, without a firearm certificate. Making use of a firearm, namely a shotgun, in order to resist arrest by a police officer. Attempted murder of a police officer. Attempted to enter McCall's as a trespasser in order to steal, and they were all for January 23rd. Daniel pleaded guilty to the robbery of the co-op shop, possession of a firearm with means to cause unlawful violence, on January 17th. And for the 23rd, he pleaded guilty to making use of a firearm in order to refrain from being arrested by a police officer and trespassing at McCall's store on 4th Street, Castlecarry. But he denied committing the other 8 offences. So there's some serious charges he's got against him. And a trial date was set for the 15th of October. Hannum appeared at Bristol Crown Court, where he denied the 2 charges of attempted to murder a police officer relating to IC and IX. This is the name that was given to the armed police officers in court to hide their identity, as in the UK, armed police officers have to withhold their identity, but for the case of this video, I'm going to call them 1 and 2. David Scott prosecuting opened the case with jurors visiting Castlecarry. He told them, realising he was surrounded and desperate, he deliberately fired at armed police officers intending to kill them as they tried to gain entry to that house. They were at the front door of the house and the defendant went to the front bedroom. He opened that window and fired down to the officers outside. The jury was played bodycam footage of 1 and 2 twice approaching the front door, and as you've already seen the footage, you already know what happens. Mr. Scott then described how the police scrambled for cover behind an armed response vehicle parked by the house. The side of the vehicle was allegedly hit with pellets from Hannum's shotgun. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures or any videos to show you guys that. He then went on to show the evidence of the phone call, which I also showed you earlier on in the video. But just to give you a recap, one of the main things that he said on it was, I'm down for a shootout, I'm not gonna lie, I've got unlimited cartridges, someone is going to die tonight, cause fear of violence, making use of a firearm with intent to resist arrest, and attempting to burgle the McCall shop. The prosecution then took the jury through the events of the night of January 23rd. These were the events that led up to his arrest, which I've also talked about earlier on in the video. A jury at Bristol Crown Court was told how the team, including Police Officer 1, were redirected to the address on Park Street after receiving his arrest. Officer 1 told the court, I saw the muzzle of a double-barreled shotgun protrude from the window and point directly at where myself and Officer 2 were standing. It was aiming directly at me. I thought I was going to die. I very quickly made a move far right away from the line of fire as I could while still protecting myself and my colleagues. If I hadn't, I was utterly convinced I was going to get shot. Officer 1 told the court how he'd had 2 shots from a shotgun in the window. Prosecution then asked Officer 1 to confirm that he and Officer 2 had fired back. Officer 1 had said, I felt that if I didn't, myself or my colleagues would have been killed. Officer 1 was cross-examined by the defence. Philip Kozantzis, defending, questioned Officer 1 about the number of shots that were fired and whether he could be sure that the shots were aimed directly at him. The court heard a shotgun blast went about 2 meters over the officer's head, but convicted him of possessing a firearm with intent to endanger life. And then on the 8th of November, Mr. Justice Sewell sentenced Daniel to 24 years in prison and 5 years on licence. At the hearing, the judge expressed his admiration for the bravery of the officers involving in arresting Daniel. Honestly, this one is actually a shocker. I never thought I'd see something like this in the UK. I know it happens, right? But like, we actually see footage of it for once, like from a body cam footage. Like, I've seen ones in America, the body cam footage, it literally looks like that. Not gonna lie, when I seen the police body cam footage, it literally looked like Call of Duty, I'm not gonna lie. Fucking crazy, man. Especially in a place in Somerset as well. Like, not London or Birmingham or Manchester, Liverpool. Somerset. That's fucking crazy, man. Maybe you could do another video on it. We can go into a bit more detail. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section below. Hit the like button. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your boy Poncho, and I'm out.